These days, the Joint Fleet is conducting drills in the South China Sea. It seems to support the Philippines, but it's doing nothing. The ships are just floating. No jets taking off. Radars are off. As for the crew, they're probably playing poker. A Philippine jet took off, then disappeared. New U.S. Defense Secretary Haig says strictly forbade conflicts with China. This has three implications. First, it's for the U.S. military, preventing rash actions from frontline troops. Also, stopping democratic interference. If an officer is bribed and provoked, and China-U.S. clashes, a U.S. defeat would end Trump's presidency. Second, it's for China, urging immediate de-escalation if tensions rise. Third, it's for the world, to signal that the U.S. avoids war. If Sess only aimed at the first two, he'd just order the military, or discreetly inform China. But this message was made global intentionally.
It shows that
Trump and Sess want everyone to know. Currently, the U.S. wants China to strike first. China wants the U.S. to strike first. Everyone else wants them to fight. Some troublemakers are fueling tensions. Yes, this refers to South Korea. Recently, an American streamer attacked Koreans online. In response, South Koreans talked about invading China. Later, South Korea's foreign minister said they'd side with the U.S. in a conflict. If Trump heard this, he'd probably be furious. Honestly, South Korea seems like an asylum, disguised as a country. In short, if China-U.S. war breaks out, the world profits. If they don't, China and the U.S. will dominate. The real competition is who gets more. But if war erupts, no one wins. Changing perspectives, militarily, the U.S. has more bases, naval superiority, and a longer history. They likely have better maritime data. However, in weapons tech and troop discipline, the PLA is superior. The biggest issue is poor production capacity. Looking at the numbers alone, if a quick battle happens far from China, the U.S. might win. But if it's near China or prolonged, the U.S. has no chance. Recent reports say the USS Truman was hit. That recent collision? Probably staged by the U.S. Whether it hit something or not, the real issue is it might be crippled. And now they claim it was just a collision. Either way, the Truman is stuck in Egypt. It needs to be towed back to the U.S. But the right ships are scarce. Another option? Blow it up and let India scrap it. How can the U.S. fight in the Pacific like this? They can't even take care of their own fleet. As for military comparisons, the Pentagon has a better estimate. Let's shift perspective. A nation must secure itself before foreign conflicts. For Trump, the priority isn't China. It's the Democrats. During his campaign, he attacked China constantly. New Secretary of State Rubio is even tougher. But after Trump took office, things changed. Yes, tariffs were raised, but on the entire world, not just China. And China countered effectively. Trump barely mentions China anymore. Even U.S. media admits he's soft on China. But it's not that Trump favors China. He simply respects its strength. He even openly praises China. China is good at business, and Trump knows it. He said it many times. China is a powerful nation. Trump believes the U.S. should learn from China. He openly admires it. When comparing the U.S. and China, many Americans realize they work multiple jobs just to get by. Yet, in the last 20 years,
besides raising GDP,
there's been little real progress. Ever wonder why? It's the inefficiency of democracy. U.S. politics is gridlocked by infighting. Decision-makers waste time on petty disputes. Real work happens in small pockets, lacking cohesion. Resources are wasted, efforts canceled out. Democracy is costly. Look at identity politics. Dozens of genders, dozens of bathrooms. Who pays for all this? Musk cut these pointless expenses at Twitter. How much was wasted before? And how much was siphoned off by elites? Many government programs exist just for corruption. Even Ukraine, Trump almost sold them out. The U.S. can't afford war with China. Trump needs China's help as he dismantles the Democratic Party. For instance, Musk shut down USAID, exposing a network of spies. Arrests have begun. If those arrested confess, and Trump finds out, he has proof to take down the Democrats. A G2 world order is forming. The U.S. may withdraw from Asia, retreating to North America. Before leaving, they'll destabilize Europe and the Middle East. China and the U.S. will carve up the chaos. Now, I wonder, what does Taiwan think?